After the tornado, we took on the challenge of rebuilding this home with some new ideas to make the house better than what it was before. In Nebraska, we have absolutely crazy weather. We had a tornado in this last year. We had record rains of 6 inches in less than 4 hours. We had hail of golf ball size and some tennis ball size. And then most recently, 140-mile-an-hour winds came through here, which was considered a Category 4 hurricane. This guy gave up after the first storm, but the next 3 storms that came, our client up here on the hill did not give up. It has survived all those other storms, but the best part is they're getting a better house, a better design, and it's going to be moved in here shortly, but we still got to get the siding fixed from the last storm. All right, hello everyone. Since I only live about a quarter mile away, I check the job sites with my side-by-side. And since this is Saturday, kind of my day off, well, it's kind of every day feels like a day off when you're living out here in God's country, Nebraska. I want to take you guys and show you the tornado house, because this was the garage entrance to this home before the tornado hit it. If you notice the siding missing, we had another storm come through, 140-mile-an-hour winds, ripped the siding off this side and the other side of the house, plus a door blew out. You'll see a window up above. That blew out. We just stuck it back on and boarded it up. So I'm meeting the insurance adjuster here in the next couple of days, and we're going to go over part of the damage on the house. So really my job here is to go through and really kind of get ready for him, because if you guys know, the insurance adjuster typically are not your friends. Even if he's watching, I think these guys know it. It's a little bit of a battle between let's see what I can find and let's see what they cannot find. And we're going to try to figure out a way to meet in the middle, because one, this is a brand new house. Even though it got hit in the tornado, we made it, gutted it, started completely over. So the homeowner deserves brand new siding. He deserves new windows, even though they're dented, because everything is like 6-7 months old. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna walk you guys through, show you what we've done, what kind of damage has just happened again for the second time, probably the third. It's all we do is get hit with storms. So we've got some cool stuff, some nice updates, and this house looks nothing like the original one. So let me know what you think at the end of the video. All right, guys, the front of this house, let me know. Here's what it looked like before, and here's where we're at today. It's night and day. People don't even think it's the same house when the homeowner shows their friends who live out of state saying, here's what our house looks like now. They thought they moved and started completely over. Well, it looks like it, but we did not. When your house gets hit by a tornado, you get a big shipping container like that, and you put everything inside that didn't get ruined in the tornado. And so all their household stuff is sitting in there, and we're soon going to be opening up the back of that thing and moving stuff in the house, because I have carpet coming in 2 weeks. Tom the trimmer's just finishing up. He's got to do the handrail stuff on the main floor. We've already painted the second floor, starting on the lower level. So this house is close to, I think, 8,000 square feet. So I build them in levels, because if I just had one guy working on this house, it would take forever. So I have painters upstairs. I've got tile guys have already finished. I got the trimmer on the main floor. And now next week, flooring and plumbers come in, countertops come in. I just keep moving people down. So eventually at one point, the whole thing gets done. So they also have a whole new front door. Here's what it looked like before. Let me show you what this new one looks like. It's pretty awesome. It's like a vault door. I gotta go through the garage. So remember, guys, I always say there's 3 things a house needs to have. It has to have curb appeal. You gotta have a functioning, really nice kitchen, and then a nice master bedroom suite. I said master, I did not say primary suite, because I'm old school. Anyway, this is the front of the house. Obviously it's new stone, it has great looking curb appeal, but the front door is part of that. We put in 8-foot tall doors. This one happens to be 6 foot wide. Front doors are 3 foot wide, typically 6 foot 8 inches tall. But if you're remodeling or starting over, go 8 foot tall with all your doors. It costs about that much more, and it feels so much more grand. And it's something you will never get tired of. It's worth the extra money. So here, the grand entrance, I'm gonna open up the door, but I gotta go around to the garage because I'm locked out. Okay, so this is the new location with the garage. This is a 3-car garage. Believe it or not, this home was only a 2-car garage, which is crazy. That's called functional obsolescence. Because a functioning home, what's better than a 2-car garage? A 3. What's better than a 3-car garage? A 4-car garage. So people love their garages, but they also have to look nice. So we added stone, picked out some beautiful garage doors. So this has nice curb appeal. let me show you the side where the garages were. Here's a picture of what the tornado did to this side of the house. And I wanted to make it so when you drove up to the home, the garages weren't just sticking out. I wanted you to see a beautiful part of the house. Plus, they never had any views. When you get inside this home and look to the south, that's that direction, you got huge, beautiful open views. So you got the upstairs bonus room where the windows patched up. That was never there. That was an addition. So they have this beautiful playroom. And then they have a side porch with a pantry and a deck. So everything looks out to the south. It's such a presence that when you drive up as a first-time person arriving to the home, you don't feel the need to walk into that door. You know that's like a secondary entrance. We want people to drive around to the front, which we're going to be putting in a circular driveway to get them going to the front door. We don't want people walking through your garage or walking through side doors. You may have a home like that, and it's very frustrating when your guests show up and your garage door's open, they just walk in and knock on your laundry room door. So we like to avoid that. All right. So if you guys have this on your home, typically people do not have keys to their house. It's the touchpad that you use for your garage door, including me. I don't have a key to my house. If my garage door keypad battery goes dead, I got to move because I can't get into my house. Okay, guys, let's come on in and take a tour. But as you come in, I'm gonna have Brandon whip around. I'm gonna show you what these big, look how thick these doors are and the hardware to match. These are like on roller catches here and at the top. When it shuts, sounds like a vault. So no kids getting out of here. You gotta do a little kick to them, but check out the hinges. These babies, they're massive. And they're like a big ball bearing hinge, and it's got extra, because we live in extreme climates, we'll get -20 till we'll get 105 to 110 heat index. So you got to have all the insulation, and these doors have to be insulated as well. So enough of the front door, let's go through. This house, originally, we were standing in the dining room, and they don't use dining rooms anymore. Those are old school, so the front door was over there. We've made that an office, and now the dining room is the grand entryway. So when you come into the home, you need a sense of arrival. You see the staircase, and you see out of the house, where before you came in a long tunnel. So come on in. Well, we got Tom the Trimmer's been working on the staircase. This is all specially selected white oak that's going to get stained. The white oak is a material, there's red oak that stains up kind of goldy and doesn't look so great. White oak looks nice. And if you can get what they call a rift cut oak, these thin lines versus some waves, it even looks that much better. So coming in, remember this house had windows going up probably 20 foot high. We took those out because we're looking straight west. That sun just comes in and cooks you. We created an overhang, and we kept the ceilings, we vaulted them to the same height, but instead of going all the way up and having a balcony overhead where the noise goes through to the kids' room, we closed it in, and then we created a similar fireplace, but this is the real stone which is on the outside coming in. We call that repetition of theme. So the theme of the outside carries into the inside. It should feel like the same house. A lot of people make that mistake where they'll have a really traditional outside and they go real modern on the inside. The house should reflect the outside and the inside together. That makes it a more sellable property. Otherwise, you're confusing the buyer. You might be getting a traditional buyer for the outside, and then they come inside and that's all modern. So there's two different people. We've already started getting the light fixtures in. The electricians have been here. The windowsills have been stained. So again, remember, we're building this house in levels. The cabinets of the kitchen, we redesigned the kitchen. They had an island before that was kind of a L triangular shape. So now we went with two islands. The islands match. The cabinets, the back against the wall, have their own color. Supersized refrigerator. Remember, we're out in the country, so you need a big walk-in pantry, which I'll show you just down the corner. So there's refrigeration in there. There's refrigeration right here in the kitchen, double ovens. And then a big mudroom because they have kids, 3 or 4 kids. They want to have them coming into the house, not right into the laundry, not into the kitchen, but into what we call the mudroom. So it's a drop zone. I'll show you that as well. But countertops are coming this week. The hard part about this is these countertops, we put wood down because everybody starts using these things as a drop zone. So once the countertops come in, we'll start protecting them as well with cardboard, sometimes blankets. So our job is to keep this stuff from getting banged up because it's a working construction zone with permanently finished cabinetry. There's the challenge. So let's go into the pantry. We chose not to put a door on it because when you come in, you'll see the cabinetry. This is where the storm came through. It ripped some of the doors off. So I get in this is part of my insurance adjuster. Here, a couple of the doors, these all blew off the cabinet. Some of them got dinged up because things were flying. If you turn around, you'll see I can't open the door. But this door was all completed, trimmed out, and it just ripped all the trim off. And you can see here, the door jamb, there's a 3-point locking system. 1, 2, 3. It was enough power that the door just ripped open and things kept flying all the way through here. So we've got dehumidifiers and fans. You can see there's dents in the cabinet. See this right here? There's a dent in that cabinet. So I have to go through and look at it real close. Sometimes dings and dents don't show up that great because it's not painted. That's what we're going to be looking at. These people need brand new stuff. My wife and I and the homeowners, we were here shortly after the storm because they came to my house. That's how nice these people are. Fixed the window on my house first, which means they've locked me in to come work on their house. Good move, and we did. Check this thing out. This is fantastic. This will be benches, and there'll be hooks here for the kids. I always say kids and people will put coats on a hook before they put it on a hanger. But if you want to put it on a hanger, you have a massive walk-in closet. So we've even got outlets in here. In the wintertime, what we've learned on some previous homes, you can plug in little boot dryers because you've got your snow boots, wet boots, you bring them in, tip them upside down, plug it in, and it dries out the inside of your snow boots. So a little luxury when you're living in climates like here in Nebraska. So again, all 8-foot tall doors. You'll see these little touches. It means our painters have been in here caulking and patching all the nail holes. They'll sand this down. This will get paint. So this is the last of the 3 floors. Second floor's done, lower level's done. Now we're back on the main floor. Here, check this is. This is a farmhouse big laundry room. So when you come in off the mudroom, you come straight in. They got shelving. This is the washer dryer. And then we added a little half bath. The toilet will be back in here. So this is where the family and the kids will go. And the sink is not in the toilet area because right here is the laundry sink. So it doubles. No sense in putting in a sink next to the toilet when you're just going for efficiency. You got the big laundry sink. And then we also added a nice little extra closet here for shelving, outlets for plugging in vacuum cleaners. Everything has its place. That's what we like to do with our customers, is think things all the way through. The way you live in a house. Sometimes people just get caught up as in a habit of, we've always just come in and put all our keys and stuff on our washer and dryer. Well, guess what? Let's let the washer dryer be its own room. Let's create drop zones out of the way. Because the old days, you'd bring everything into the kitchen and drop it on the counters. We want to keep the counters clean because the kitchen now is wide open to the rest of the house. Notice there's no outlets on this back wall. Here's the pot filler. This is where the cooktop's going to be going. The outlets are underneath these cabinets. And every one of these little shelves have been routed out and has lighting that comes down. This whole wall will get tile. So this will be quite the backdrop because this wall looks and then goes that way. So you have each ends of the house are anchored by some beautiful architectural elements into the home. So here's where they're going to be. The big kitchen, again, the backbone of the house. Now we got room for the big, massive, they have a table, I think, that seats 10, if not 12 people. It can easily handle that. This home, we added beams in the kitchen, smooth ceilings. That's a key when your high traffic areas, high importance areas like its kitchens and master bathrooms and what have you. We spend the extra money making the ceilings nice and smooth. You have to paint them. It just adds a little extra touch. You'll walk into home, you won't know why it feels so different, but when you start looking at the 8-foot doors, smooth ceilings, I mean, the woodwork is, everything's kind of painted beautifully. The colors typically come through the furniture. We don't always add color through the cabinets and paint and what have you. Let the furniture make the statement. And then it has a much classier, nice feel. Plus, the flooring is the same throughout. Previously, the home had wood floors, and then where this room was, they put carpet down. Instead of carpet, you put LVT or wood all the way through the house and then put an area rug down. I'm talking like an interior designer because I've done this enough and listened to them that I'm picking up on it. Because sometimes your couch might be half on the wood floor, half on the carpet. That looks funny. When you have it all one solid surface, it makes the room feel bigger, and you are now not limited on where you have to put your couch or tables or what have you. And it's a nicer look, and it maybe costs just a little bit more. So I would recommend it. We found a new company, Tanzite. We did a video on it, so you can look that up. And we put down these tiles on the deck. So we framed the deck with TGIs, which is conventional framing, which you're not supposed to do on the outside. But if you waterproof it and put a water membrane and a bladder, which we did, you can do it on both. So that allowed us to put in a solid surface on top. The moisture does not touch the wood. That's where the rot begins. And they got this beautiful tile deck up above that feels like you should be on the ground and you're elevated, geez, I don't know, 25 feet in the air. Also, the underside, you can finish it just like these ceilings. So when you go downstairs to the lower level, the bar, the ceilings are going to look beautiful. You don't see all the floor joists, which are bird nests. There's spider webs. It just looks nasty, unfinished. We're going for outdoor living space. Should feel as nice as the inside. So it should feel good. Should feel nice and look nice. Not look like you have to power wash the ceiling and the floors every time you come outside because of all the bugs and birds. So remember the south view, as I was saying, were the pantry and the upstairs plus the deck. Now that's the view that they have. Also, that's where the tornadoes come from. So if it ever comes again, let's cross our fingers not, you got a great view to run for the lower level. Here on the deck, some planning ahead is the gas line. This gas line will probably double as a potential fire pit, but also for the barbecue grill. Sorry for the wind. We get lots of rain and wind out here. What we're going to be doing is probably, well, we're going to build another wall at some point to divide up the deck. This was going to be screened in, and then you have the barbecue grill. You'll have a door open up, and then you come to the outdoor deck area that's just open air. Here's a little tip I've learned. As long as the wind's blowing at like 5 miles an hour, the mosquitoes can't get you. They can't fly in that kind of wind. So keep that in mind. That's why it's nice to have a fan or something moving air. No bug bites. So these little details of these overhangs, because the house backs to the west, they got awesome views, but that means the sun's coming in. So just having those up there hanging down is enough to block out a majority of that western sun. So instead of getting a full day's worth of sun, they might get an hour and a half. So something to consider. You can even add to your house still today if you've got that west sun problem. Okay, we've learned some tricks. Since these fireplaces burn so hot and you want to put a TV above it, you really can't have a real wood mantle. So you know what this is? Hear that? Concrete. Concrete made to look like real wood. Genius. I wish I could take credit for it, but here's another concrete fireplace mantle. I wish I would have thought of this concrete mantle. I could have retired a couple years earlier. All right, guys, here we are in the master. We decided this is where the tub's going to go, and because the faucets come out of the floor for that beautiful freestanding tub, those we have to get the flooring in, the tub place first, and a lot of times you have to go down into the basement to hook it up. But luckily this is underneath the unfinished area, so we don't have to cut a hole in the ceiling. But here's a neat feature that I've done on my Street of Dreams, and we're doing it again. We put a light inside these niches, and since when we originally had this whole wall figured for tile, they came in, they go, you know what, let's go ahead and add it over here so it wraps around the tub. Let me show you a car wash shower. The reason why I call that, because I think you can park a car in here. So here, this massive shower, it even echoes, it's so big. Again, see the little light that we put in the niche? So we have a his, hers, shower heads up above, ceiling shower head. Remember, we need to do the 6 foot distancing, so when you're in the shower, you gotta keep it safe, even though you're married. It's practice social distancing. Okay, I was going to call this her closet, which is typically the women take over us guys, our closets. I tried to, sometimes in the past, I'll do a his closet and a hers with a divider to keep her from encroaching onto us guys' space. But there was an agreement, they understood. She's going to get all this over here, shoe racks, hanging. But look what Tom the trimmer built. They just said, here's what we want. Built this huge tower of cabinets. Soft close. We're going to have a new countertop that's going to be coming in. This has to be painted yet, but lots of storage. We meet with the homeowner, and Tom the trimmer sits down with them, and they wanted these shelves extra deep. These are not as deep, so it's perfect for shoes. But I think the male homeowner, I think he gets this section right here because he's got like 3 shirts, 4 pairs of pants, and I think he wears the same underwear over and over again. But that's a little. Builders seem to learn things that we're not supposed to when you're building a house, so keep that between us. Okay, so we make our way upstairs. Tom the trimmer is still working on it. He's got his newel post set in. That's the last thing that he has to do here, but these hallways are nice and wide. Let me back up for a second, because the old house, this was railing going all the way down, and it looked into the great room. It sounds cool, looks nice. A lot of people buy homes because they like that feel, but when you live in those kind of homes, all that noise, the TV from downstairs travels up. And guess what? You got kids' bedrooms everywhere. You're gonna wake somebody up in the house. So we decided put a wall up, and in that dead space that was doing nothing down there, we got a barn door. That's gonna be the kids' office area. I might have a light. Yeah, here we go. A little dusty. Big countertop. This is where you stick them in here, close the door, and make them do their homework. So all the bedrooms kind of stayed the same. We modified a few things, added a window here and there, made some of the bathrooms bigger, gave them walk-in closets. But this is the bonus room. We call it that because it's just space over top of the garage. So this huge room has a big walk-in closet. We put a mini split up here, so it has a second heating and cooling system just in case it doesn't keep up. That's what will go right here. They got TVs that are going to mount on both sides of the wall so they can figure out how they want to live in the space. But it's going to be set up with maybe a couple bunk beds, but just couches, playroom. So the kids' stuff is upstairs, out of the way, but they get these unbelievable views. There's those massive views. Here's a broken window. I got to put that on my list for the insurance guy. And this window right here literally blew off. We came back and stuck it back in the hole and boarded it back on just so keep the house airtight. So there's a lot of damage on the outside, a little bit on the end, but it's all going to come together nicely. We're getting so close to the finish line. I don't need any more storms, but you guys let me know what you think of this massive room that's over top of the new 3-car garage. Another thing on these 2-story homes, or you get bedrooms upstairs, this hallway is 5 foot wide. Most hallways are 3 foot. 4 foot feels nice, but man, if you can just go 5 foot, 5.5, oh, it feels fantastic. Especially when all the bedroom doors are shut, it doesn't feel so dark. So I'm gonna hit some lights. I'm gonna take you guys downstairs and show you some of the fun stuff that we did, because in lower levels, that's what you can do. You can break the rules and have fun and come up with some fun, creative ideas. Okay, coming downstairs, what's nice about this, again, it's a little bit of a sense of arrival. We have a landing area up here, which I believe they're talking about putting a pool table, because you can walk around it. It's big enough. A pool table's 4 foot by 8 foot, and this room's, I think, is like 18 by 16. Originally, I think they had a bar. I'm trying to remember. Maybe they had a bar over there. This had all the windows on that wall, and this is the media room, and there was no windows by the bar. So we took all those windows out, moved them down to where the bar is, because in a media room, when you're down in here, this will be a railing. Here's your big screen TV. It's set up for a projector in the future, but I think they're gonna go with, some of these TVs now are so big, you can get a 100-inch for pretty much like around $2 to $3 grand. So this will be the sunken media room. And why we have this wall right here is, one, you got to be able to put your couch up against it, and we went a little taller here. On the other side, it's not as tall. It's like a bar stool height. So we'll have a countertop so people can sit up here, have their drinks, their food, and overlook for those football Saturdays or Sundays, whatever game you're watching. The series people can be sitting down watching the game, And then the other people that want to socialize, maybe have a shuffleboard, there'll be a card table in the middle, but we added stone. If you can see that, where it's all protected right now. This stone is the same stuff that's on the front of the house. It's also what's on the fireplace. So I really like this idea of having this overlook. And then you have the sliding glass doors that go out underneath the covered deck. And this area is to be painted. What's nice is these floating shelves are more and more popular. But the important part is you need some downlight. So all these also have been routed out and the lighting's already been installed. Here was something we added, a wine cellar room. So this I can open up a little bit because we're gonna get a piece of glass fitted for that. And you'll walk around the corner, open the door, but we're gonna have wine bottles that will kind of hang down, racking from the ceiling, so you have this beautiful stone backdrop. So here around the corner to the wine cellar, and then this goes into more storage. And this is the space we had to add, or actually this hole is where the old garage was, and now there's kitchen and pantry above it, but we have to have what they call a crawl space. Somebody has to get in there at some point to, I don't know if there's any plumbing or heating, just to have access. So here's the lower level. They got nice high ceilings. This is something they did with the original house. I would have liked to have been able to take those doors and windows up to 8 foot tall, but it was already done. There's already major headers in there. It's too much to change it at this stage. But we have something really cool we added, the homeowner wanted, is this exercise room. And it was dark. There was no windows. So we added a light here, but that wall, we had to cut it out. We had to saw cut it, knock it out, take the grade down, just to get some daylight into this room. I think it was worth it, and it looks really nice. And one last guest bedroom that was super huge. We made it even smaller, but this room, I believe, is, I think, 18 by like 16. The closets were over here at one time, and you can see it on the floor where the closets were. I took the closets out and I moved it to the back side of the media wall. And there's a reason for that. You needed that sound barrier. So if you're in this bedroom and you got people watching TV, we soundproof that wall. You have the closet, you have this barrier. So if you're in this room, you should not be hearing all the noise that's going on the outside. So nice guest bedroom, and we set it up to where it's got their own 3/4 bath, and then you come out this way. So the lower level is almost done. The painting I can see is about this far from being completed. We'll be bringing in the carpet. We already got the flooring down in the exercise room. That's that rubber matting that we put down. There's a little trick there. If you go and buy like horse mats for like barns that horses stand on, I think they're like 4 by 6 or 8. They're all rubber. It's way cheaper than going to your flooring club store that will sell it to you. I forget what it is per square foot. It's pretty pricey, but it's almost the exact same stuff. Looks great. Let me know if you think we made a good move on that. As you guys know, in Nebraska, where we live here in Omaha, Warren Buffett lives here, and he owns a furniture store called Nebraska Furniture Mart, where every May at his stock shareholders meeting, people come to town. He owns a jewelry store and sees candy and furniture. So if you buy anything during that time, it's a deep discount. So they bought all their appliances during that show, but you have to take delivery within like 30 to 60 days. So here they are in the garage. We're trying to protect them because they came probably 90 days too soon. So that's why a lot of them are in the box. I don't know why that one's not in the box, but we got to protect it. We've spun it around to keep the front door from getting banged up. So it was worth it. I think they saved thousands of dollars on these appliances, and take and deliver early, it's a small price to pay. So come to Omaha next year in May and buy a bunch of stuff and then have it shipped to you. All right, so getting ready for the insurance guy. Because I'm afraid of heights, which is crazy because I fly airplanes and helicopters, but you won't catch me up on a roof very often. So I found a hill to stand on, and I'm getting a bird's eye view to see if there's any damage to the shingles. This is really not a good way to do it, but it works for me right now. I do see some of the metal roofing has, there's some pieces missing, it looks like, and some dents. But more importantly, it's real easy to see whether I'm on a hill or not. All the siding on the north side of the house has almost been totally ripped off, and it's laying all over the yard. So Both ends of the house siding got banged up. I did notice some on the deck, but I still got to go through with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm asking the homeowner to do the same because the more eyes on it, the better. And then we're ready for the insurance guy when he comes here next week. So I wanted you guys to see the back of the house now that it's almost done. We've got a lot of weeds and some grading to get cleared out of here. But once that's all done, there's a retaining wall we added. Probably just going to paint it. We can always add brick or stone to it or stucco later. But to keep costs down, let's paint it, see how that looks. The railing's got to go on, and under the deck, I talked about that, you can see the floor joist. That's all going to get covered up. But the back of the house should be as good looking as the front, and I hope we've achieved that. Let me know. So this is the updated Tornado house. We still got a little ways to go. They move in, believe it or not, in 45 days. Maybe 55 days. There we go. Let me know if I can. I hope I can make it. I'll keep you guys in tune. Thanks for watching. Reach out, give comments, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. I'm Brad the Builder, and I'll see you guys on the next job site.